I'm just trying to change the world here, people.
Oh, really?
The Facebooking and the tweeting and the Instagramming, all that would not exist without our understanding of science.
So it's amazing how you took that as an insult.
You mean true for you is different from true for anybody else? Having something to
absolutely,
true for you.
because I can't
Something's
prove-
either got to be true or not.
I can't, no.
Welcome back to O'Reilly Radio, citizens of Netlandia. This is show 161, recorded Friday, August 4th, 2017, where we dismantle the current events for your edutainment through mostly rational conversations that make you say, oh, really. I'm your host, Andy Cowan, and I have my usual suspect. I've got Daniel Atherton. Welcome back, sir.
Good to be back.
Did the week treat you okay?
Oh, the body said one thing as opposed to the mind, so we're still dealing with it, but things are moving forward, as did the week.
Yes, it did. Incrementing forward as we leapfrog through the year. Anyway, we make mistakes, so if you find one, go ahead and let us know about it at ORLYRadiopodcast@gmail.com. That's ORLYRADIOPODCAST@gmail.com. You can also phone it in at 470-222-6759. I have been getting a lot of calls lately, but nobody's leaving any messages. So I think mostly it's spam. Lots of spam. Spam. So thank you to our Patreon supporters as well. We've got Donald Davis, Melissa G., Henry, and Daniel Duncan from the Problem Addict podcast, debuting live August 13th, coming right up. Definitely check that one out. Okay, so it is time. You know, I need like a cash register or something to bring in this segment.
That or, the ringing of the market bell?
Oh, yes. That would be perfect. I'll see if I can find that for next time. But this is time to take the global economic pulse and follow the money. So following the markets, August closed out. Well, no, not August closing, but this Friday, the closing changes were that the Dow closed at a record-setting, apparently, 22,092.81. That is up, just from last week, 262.5, which is almost what it was up the entire month for July. So that's pretty big news. Pretty big news there. The NASDAQ closed at 6,351.56. That's down 23.12. And the S&P closed at 2,476.83. That is up 4.73. All those are going to be in the show notes, so you can kind of follow along with us at home. The International Monetary Fund, the basket of currencies, as we're following those most frequently traded foreign currencies against the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar held at 0.85 euros, dropped another point, and so it's 6.73 Chinese yuan, and rose a little bit, but actually in that regard, I guess it dropped. So 110.69 Japanese yen. That's up 0.6.
Yeah.
Well, 0.06 from
yeah.
last week. And up 1 point for the Great British Pound at 0.77. And Bitcoin lost a little bit too. So now $1 will get you 0.00035 Bitcoins. And let's see, and looking at the gas market in the oil, a barrel of oil this week is trading for $49.58, and that's down 13 cents from last week. So we'll keep track of that. And in really dark and stark news, things that we're going to start doing is week over week, we're going to give you how much the national debt, the U.S. national debt, has changed. So from last week to this week, we have accrued another, is that billion? That's billion. Yeah, that's billion. 2,183,820, million.
Yeah.
$2,183,824,659 and counting. Pretty fast, actually. So
Yeah.
that's at a total of 19 trillion 969 billion 787 million. Yeah. $407,865. And growing. Ugh. Lots of money. Lots of money. So in the show notes, I will have a snapshot of the usdebtclock.org so that you can see, you can kind of compare week over week. I'll have the last week and I'll have this week in there so you can kind of compare on your own and see where we're going. And since they've got so much data, it's just a target-rich environment. So.
Oh yeah.
So this also works really well for us because we can just real quick go back and say, oh, that thing. Well, let's see how much that changed over the week. So we can just go right back to the notes and have that information at our fingertips.
We have been told by the Senate that the next thing that is on the docket once this terrible and awful health care situation is finally slayed is tax reform.
Yeah, that's troubling in all of its iterations. Now, if I'm not mistaken, the Congress is going on recess for a month, but not really going on recess, so they can block the president in making any recess appointments.
Yes, they voted pretty much to make certain everyone in the Senate voted unanimously to block Trump making any recess appointments.
And he keeps having more recess appointments because the only people that he can apparently, I've said this before, and so far it's holding true. He only knows about 100 people in total. And those are the people that he thinks of for everything. So people that he's already had appointed, he's just shuffling the deck and moving them to somewhere else that he thinks that they would work, where he needs that person most now.
Again, it's a business mentality versus a political mentality.
Yeah.
And his lack of experience and understanding is vastly showing. Also from his appointees, those that actually have any bit of experience in politics, where they're adapting, while those that have been political outsiders, they're sinking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard from Washington Post just, I believe, the last weekend that Kelly and Mattis have an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
Only one of them can be out of the country at any time because the other one has to be back here so they can mind the baby.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh. Man, that sounds like something that we'd do.
Well, again, these are two military men who have an understanding of politics, but as well as military realities.
Yeah.
And so they have an agreement. Only one of them can be out of the country at any given time.
Wow. Fascinating. In a dark kind of way.
But especially now that Kelly is chief of staff.
Yeah.
So he's the closest to the Simmons football. And
yeah,
he is already shaking things up to where, no, guys, what was happening before ain't gonna happen. Everything gets funneled through my office. And his justification is the president needs to have the best intel possible. The only way that can happen is if it goes through one office, so it's condensed, concise, and can be presented in the proper fashion.
Yeah, he's already gotten some kickback there from the Trump family themselves because they have to go through him too.
Yes. No, they've done some kickback, but he's not budging. And we haven't heard about Bannon yet, who seemed to be somebody who, well, we know was bypassing Priebus entirely.
Well, all he has to do is do a direct message to him on Twitter.
Yeah. So no, it's really can Kelly hold this job, and is he going to be able to hold it as it was traditionally held?
That would be nice. We'll see how it
Well,
goes.
it would be better for the country if he was able to do so.
Agreed in every respect. Okay, so what I'd like to do, since we've just started this segment, I'm pretty sure that there's going to be people that have no interest in it whatsoever. In the follow the money segment,
Yeah.
quoting just, stock prices and things like that. So what we'll do is we are going to chop it into its own segment so people can skip it if they want. And then we'll just get right into the rest of the meat. So with that, I'm going to do a little close here, just a little ending. There we go. Okay, it's just a tiny one. Okay, so if you've enjoyed what we've done here and you'd like to help us out, there's a few ways. You can donate to the show through patreon.com/ORLY-Radio. Get early access to show content. I keep saying that, but it never happens. But I'll try. I'll keep trying. So as you keep doing that, I'll try. At the very least, what you could do is you could have me say something nice about you. So if you donate to the show, I can go ahead and do the advertisement thing for you. Right there. Top of the show every episode. Also, how about you make those algorithms work for us? Review us on iTunes. Drop us a 5-star anywhere you happen to find us. Just send a postcard to your family and say, hey, you ought to be listening to this. Engage everyone around you. Use your words and boost our ranking, please. And of course, engage with us directly. Send a message on the social medias or the electronic mails at ORLY-RadioPodcast@gmail.com. Or if the more talkative sort, how about 470-222-6759? It's always ready to take your call or your text. You want to do it?
And if you don't like what we've done here this evening, you can contact the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-8255. Available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Lifeline provides free and confidential support for people in distress, prevention, and crisis resources for you and your loved ones, and best practices for professionals.
Thank you for choosing to waste your valuable time on us. This has been ORLY Radio, part of the Random Acts Company. This work licensed under Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 United States license, including the music Rocket and Pimgia, created by Kevin MacLeod of Incompetech.com. And we will be right back with more news. Because, it's trash day in Washington, and we got to go through all that garbage. So, see you soon.